So episode 69.
Wow, we're getting there.
Yeah, we are getting there.
Very nice.
What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about Cuba for one thing. A couple different angles we're going to take on that too. The U.S. tried to buy them, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I also want to discuss what's going on down there as far as the humanitarian problems that's going on there with the oil now that's not getting to them. So it's a real mess down there. Since baseball's opening, actually, when this comes out, it will be the second day of baseball,
That's right.
and we got something new we want to talk about. There's a new system in play this year, so we're going to talk about that, which I think is pretty cool. And then lastly, I want to talk about the World Cup. We're going to spend a little time on that coming to the U.S. and some of the security concerns about it in different parts of the world. I think they even canceled an F1.
Where did they cancel the F1?
I forget which one it is, but they were talking about maybe canceling it now because it's nerve-wracking and everything that's going on.
Well, it's probably, don't they have a race in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, that might be it.
It might be
Yeah, so
Qatar or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that if they try to block it. How about this? How about this poor plane crash that happened with these two pilots?
Yep. Boy, he stepped on the brakes, tried really hard not to hit that truck. But
Man,
boy.
oh man, and I feel bad. The two pilots died. Their families, our condolences go out to them. It sounds like the air traffic controller, I don't want to say kind of screwed up, but
Well, he said he did.
he did say he did, and then the other person said you did the best you did.
Let me play the here's the air traffic controller clip. Listen to this. Pretty nerve-wracking, actually.
Truck 1 and Company, LaGuardia Tower, requesting to cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, cross 4 at Delta.
Truck 1 and Company, crossing 4 at Delta.
Frontier 4195 to stop there, please. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Stop, Truck 1, stop. Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000. Jet 646. Jet 646, I see you collide with a vehicle here, just hold position. I know you can't move. The vehicles are responding to you now.
Is the runway closed?
Delta 2603, go around, runway heading 2000.
Heading 2000, go around, 2603.
LaGuardia Tower.
Truck 2, runway 4 is closed, correct?
Yes, go on to runway 4 now. Proceed on runway 4, you have access. Frontier 4195, I got the word that we're going to be closed for a little while. If you want to prepare to return to the ramp, let me know.
Yeah, we got stuff in progress for that, man. That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
Nothing's ever happened. I remember the last one that did. The plane just kind of dived into the ocean a little, into the river or whatever that's right there.
Right before the runway, you mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I remember that. That was, 30-something years ago. Holy heck.
There was one, I don't remember where it was, if it was at the same airport where one of the planes skidded off the runway into a river. I don't remember which one.
I thought that was it.
Oh, maybe that's
Yeah,
it.
it was
It
LaGuardia.
was on the far end or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they say that it's got a lot of short runways. A lot of
Yes.
pilots that I've been listening to, they were saying it is a dangerous. It's not a real nice airport to try to land and take off. They said the runways are kind of short compared to JFK, Newark,
And because of
LA.
all the waterways and stuff, I guess,
Right.
that are out,
Yeah.
up there. So, yeah, Newark is one of the biggest
Yeah.
and longest. So, yeah, so, you got the co-pilot and the pilot. And then the stewardess that was in the chair right in front of the
She
bulkhead.
got ejected. Wow.
100 and some odd feet. She flew in the air on her in her seat.
She just broke her leg.
Yeah. So thank God there weren't more problems, more deaths. And I guess you said this the other day. The plane, when you see on the news, the plane was like this in the air.
Yeah.
It combined with the loss of the nose weight
Right.
and everybody running to the back of the plane.
Yeah. Now, I didn't know this. That type of aircraft, if they have an emergency exit, they don't have those chutes that go down. They just have the two doors over each wing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were saying, supposedly, when they go over the flight about putting your seatbelt on.
Oh, yeah,
and this,
yeah.
They said if you have an accident, or if we have an emergency landing or whatever, you don't go into your bins to get your luggage.
Right. Some
Well,
people did.
Some people did.
Yeah. I'm not leaving this behind.
That's right.
Hey, it's coming with me, baby.
It's coming with me. Yeah. Curtis Lee was said this morning. He says they probably had cash in their thing. They didn't want to lose
Who
it.
knows? Yeah. I mean, think about when you lose your luggage, right?
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And now you're going to leave it on a plane and run away?
Right. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about this Cuba situation.
Well, Cuba, I've been always thinking about Cuba. I don't understand why we never tried to get it. And I did some research, and it looks like we did try to get it. Obviously, everybody knows the Bay of Pigs, what happened there, and that was a debacle. I mean, it was terrible. But just to let you know, between 1848 and 1898, multiple U.S. administrations formally offered to buy Cuba from Spain. 1848, the Polk administration, that's James K. Polk, offered Spain $100 million for the island. Spain famously responded that they would sooner see it sink into the ocean than to sell it to the Americans. You could see they didn't care for
They didn't want the
they didn't care for the
Americans.
Americans.
You're
at the
not
time.
getting this.
Yeah, so he tried to buy it for $100 million. 1854, only roughly 4 or 5 years later. The Pierce administration, U.S. diplomats drafted the Ostend Manifesto, which proposed a purchase price of $120 million. Some say $130 million by accounts. The secret document also suggested that the U.S. would buy justified in wresting Cuba by force if Spain refused to sell. When the plan was leaked, so that I got to tell you that right there, this was kind of a secret thing, and I don't know if the Pierce administration knew it, but it looks like somebody tried to do this with this Ostend Manifesto and tried to buy it, maybe behind the president's. I don't know. It just says the plan was leaked. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. It caused a major political scandal and was rejected by Franklin Pierce. So, didn't happen then. Then in 1897, McKinley. Shortly before Spanish-American War, President William McKinley offered $300 million for the island. Now, in 1897, $300 million was like
Oh, yeah.
big time.
Wow.
It's like billions that we talk about today.
Yep.
He offered $300 million. Spain again rejected the offer. I don't know. I mean, we tried to buy this country. I just think that Cuba would be great for tourism. They
Yeah.
would open up hotels there and resorts and things like that. It's only 90 miles from Key West. I mean, I just think it would be such a great thing to have. I mean, they're been running around in old cars
Forever.
forever.
This is don't go,
Yeah, I
this
know.
goes back, way back.
way back. And then when
Driving 1950s, 60s.
right, I mean the
cars.
'50s saw there was a lot of mafioso that was down there. If you watch Godfather 2, it goes into that a little bit, all about
Yeah.
how Cuba, Castro took it over and went to communism at that point. So I don't know. I hope this works out for Trump. I know he wants to get it. He is making some stupid comments. I hate when he says, "Oh, it's mine. I could take it now
Yeah.
if I want. It's mine."
Don't get me started because he said a lot of shit.
Well,
since last
I agree with that. I don't think that was the right things to say.
Yeah.
But that's Trump. That's the way he is. But he doesn't mean like he's going to go in there with army and everything and rile everybody. What he's going to try to say is he's going to if the regime collapses, or if the person that's running it, his last name is Canal or something like that, if he stops and they let the U.S. go in there with political power,
Right.
it could be a beautiful thing. Those people they wouldn't even know it hit them. They would have so much money. They would have so much work. They would have such a great. And Trump is not trying to make it like the 51st state. But I wouldn't be surprised if
Like
all of a
Canada.
sudden they called it like if it was like a territory, sort of like Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
sort of
Puerto
like
Rico
Guam.
is the territory
Yeah,
of the U.S.
yeah, the territory. So I don't know. I just think it would be the right thing to do. I really do. I always thought it was. I was saying to myself, how come we're not pressing this any further?
Now-
And then you had the Bay of Pigs back in '61 or '62, whenever it was. That was a debacle. They
Right,
were
with the
trying
Cuban Missile Crisis.
Cuban. Oh yeah, and then Russia tried to get in there.
Yep.
Well, it is a communist country. It is.
Yeah.
It is full communist. But
That was back in the Kennedy years.
yep.
So, does Spain still own Cuba?
No.
No.
No, it's
think so,
really
'cause
owned
it's
by
going to shit.
itself.
Yeah.
It was getting oil from Venezuela, which
Venezuela.
now Trump stopped that, and any other fuels or whatever that they need to keep the country running. Trump is kind of squeezing them.
Well, there's a problem here, and this is part two of this, is a humanitarian piece on Cuba. Now, we know it's communism, and we know it's not run properly, and we want a new regime and a whole thing that we're talking about all the time. But this country recently has been having multiple blackouts, prolonged energy blackouts. Now, the part of the reason is that there are generators that generate electric, like you have nuclear, you have gas, and they use oil to run their generators to make electricity.
Yeah.
So without the oil, they're having constant blackouts. So there's shortages of food, medicine, fuel, clean water. The whole thing is just going to crap. They're collapsing healthcare system. Now I'm just talking about the people. I'm not talking about the communist part of this, or the regime that's
Right.
not right. The situation really intensified this year. It's pushing the island of roughly 11 million people to almost complete humanitarian collapse.
Yeah.
Really bad. So Cuba's energy grid repeatedly collapsed and keeps going off. And as soon as they get the power on, they start losing again. They're in the dark all the time.
They're rationing their gas too for the cars, right?
They're rationing gas. They're allowed 8 gallons
For
when
how
there is
long?
gas.
How long? How you mean until it runs out? And then
I
they
guess,
can
and
only
they
get
can only get eight more. Yeah, there's millions of people without power, with extended periods of time, including the whole island has gone out a couple of times. I mean, it's really bad. So water pumps fail. So now they got no clean water. They got no pumps for well. I know when our power went out, it was the same thing. Our well didn't pump, didn't work. Refrigerators stopped. So now there's a food crisis because a lot of food's gone bad and spoiled, and they don't have a lot of food to start with. They resort to wood, charcoal, burning trash for cooking, worsening and so then the air quality gets bad. And it's just snowballing into really, really bad stuff. The crisis escalated after U.S. measures in late January blocked the shipments of oil from Venezuela.
Yeah.
So part of it, and this is where they come down on Trump. Well, it's Trump's fault. Well, I know what he's trying to do to get a
yes.
regime, but it is Trump's fault.
It is no doubt about it. It's Trump's fault. But I think in the long run, they're going to collapse. The government is going to collapse, and we're going to be able to go in there and kind of form a capitalist type of government and have somebody run the place the right way and treat their people the right way and have business come to the place, have resorts coming, hotels and things
A lot
like
of
that.
those islands,
Tourism.
that's how they live. That's how they survive is
Oh,
tourism.
they do. All the islands of the
Aruba,
Caribbean,
everything.
pretty much. If we weren't around, a lot of those islands would be destitute because they rely on us coming down to lay in the sun. As
Yeah.
you say.
But you're right. But if this continues, this reduction in fuel imports, experts warn of a 0 hour when no more tankers arrive at all, potentially marking the worst economic downturn since 1930s.
Yeah.
Now they've had a bad. They're constantly fixing old cars because they can't even get imports
Right.
of cars or anything. So it's a real.
Well, I
real
saw
mess
I
down
saw a
there.
video. They were showing all the old car, like 1955
Right.
Chevys and
Yeah.
Fords,
Yeah.
and things like that. But then all of a sudden, they showed on the block there was a brand new Mercedes Benz,
Oh,
and they're
great.
saying, "Who owns that?"
Yeah, probably the regime leader.
Kingpins, yeah. Early interest too. This is just another thing. Founding fathers like Thomas Jefferson and John Quincy Adams viewed Cuba as a natural appendage to the U.S. Adams described its annexation as indispensable to the integrity of the Union.
Yeah, so that I agree that this is where we need to step in, try to get this thing bought, and get this fixed because now not only that, but you got a health system now that's about to collapse.
Right.
So all these people that are sick with no food,
Well-
no water, and then no hospitals, it's snowballing. The ambulance have a lack of fuel,
Right.
the lack of medicines. They're in short supply. There's millions with chronic illnesses, including cancer patients. 32,000 pregnant women are there and can't get the help they need. Infant mortality rate has risen 5 out of 14 per thousand.
Wow.
5 to 14 per thousand babies don't live because of what's going on. Staff shortages, healthcare workers. They refuse shifts. They just don't want to. They're under dire conditions. They don't even want to work.
Yeah.
It's a real shame there. So
It is.
I'm hoping that something changes for these people.
Oh, it should. Once the president that's running, it's not a Castro. Castros are gone.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro and then Manuel Castro or Miguel Castro, they're gone. They're history. This guy is the one that the last Castro said, you're going to be running the country, this canal guy. And if he steps down, Trump's got to talk to them and give them some kind of deal. Then those people will flourish. They will be so happy about what's going to happen to their country. It's going to be great. I mean, it's the whole Latin area.
Right.
I mean, if Trump does this with Cuba, ends the Iran war, Iran is done, does get Cuba,
Right.
and makes it into a flourishing area. Do you know what this man has done
Yeah, but what is going to
in
happen?
1 year? Just
in
in
a
one
year.
year. Forget about the first term.
Right.
Just in 1 year, what this man has done. If this Iran thing and the Cuban thing works out,
If.
but if it does, and to me, I think it's going to. You can't underestimate Trump. You're talking about all this Iran stuff, lower taxes, oil cheap.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're saying if this whole straight thing gets all, and we win basically,
Right.
and Iran caves in, there was some people saying they're going to see gas could be $1.99.
I know.
$2 a gallon.
Well, here's a funny story too. On Sunday, Trump came out, and here's the underlining thing. He came out and said that this should come to an end shortly. That they agreed not to have nukes, and he did this on Sunday, right before the markets open on Monday. Because all weekend the markets were trending low. That they were
Because he gave him a 3-day ultimatum.
Right. Now it's 5 day. Now it's 3 day. Yeah. So he gave him that. And Monday came with all this announcement, and the stock market went up, and the gas went down to $80-something.
But look at the power that this man has got for saying one thing.
Right.
Probably gained in the stock market a couple $1 billion for pretty much for the stock market.
Yeah.
Oil lowered by about $10, went down to about $89, $85. I mean, talk about power that this man's got. I know there's people that hate him. Look what this,
But is it power or manipulation?
well, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He speaks. Remember, what was that commercial?
If it
years
helps
ago?
me with gas, I don't care which one it is.
What was that
either.
commercial when somebody talks, everybody listens?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that commercial
Yeah.
way back in the 80s or
Yeah.
70s? Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at this very optimistically. I think if it does all work out, and I think it's going to, this is going to be unbelievable. And he'll still probably lose the midterms because half the country hates him.
Yeah.
And he'll be a lame duck for the last 2 years.
But see, that's the problem. And if this stuff doesn't come to an end and gas doesn't go down and then other prices, and he gets the economy within reach and the stock market's back up again and gas is way down again and we start getting savings, you have a shopping cart full of stuff, it's $300 anymore or $400. It's really crazy. So if he can get all that fixed, because if he loses the midterms, nothing will get done.
Nothing.
They will vote everything out.
Vote everything out, and they'll try to impeach him.
Yeah.
They'll be constantly impeach. Get him out of here. We have to get him out of here. That's what they will do.
And it with this whole thing with the TSA agents and the Dems against it,
Oh.
they don't give a shit about the people.
No, they don't. But let me tell you something. I know we're going off subject here, but having the ICE agents at the airports,
Yeah.
I think is a terrific thing. Reports today saying that some of the airports, the lines were diminishing, going down.
Yeah, I did hear
ICE
that.
agents were helping people. The ICE agents, if people had to go to the bathroom when they were in line, they were saving their spot, doing things like that. They're not going in there with their guns and their masks and all this crap. They're not doing any. They're not
Did they
looking
take
like.
any children away from their parents?
No, they didn't take any children.
That's what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
going to wrestle people to the ground.
Yeah, how come nobody's being arrested? I'm seeing all these people. Nobody's being arrested. Nobody's being shot. Nobody got shot.
They're there just to help, and that's what they're doing.
Yes, they are. They're
fact,
helping.
Bill and I, maybe for next week, we may take a trip to Philadelphia Airport and take a look and see what's going on down there.
Yeah, either Philly or Newark or
Because
something.
we want to hear from the people what
Yeah.
they think, not what NBC says or Fox or anybody else.
Right.
We want to hear from the people online. Are you happy that these guys are here and are they helping you out?
Right.
Bottom line. So we're going to find out for you. Hopefully for next week's episode.
Yeah, we're going to probably interview like 5 different sets of people or
Yeah, at
something
least,
like that.
yeah.
And just get the feel for it. And I think they're going to say, they're wonderful. There's nothing going on. It's nice.
Yeah.
We feel safe because of
Hope
there.
so.
I don't know who it was, CNN or MSNBC or MSLSD. They were saying, oh, it's terrible. These people are going to scare everybody. They're going to shoot people. They're going to do this. They're going to do that.
All I know is if I was, especially today with all that's going on, if I have 3 or 4 ICE agents with a with a gun strapped across their shoulder, I feel a lot safer than I would be if I was scared.
Okay, what's next?
Baseball.
Baseball. Let me get to the baseball.
Wednesday, we film on Tuesday, so Wednesday tomorrow, the Yankees played and the San Francisco Giants for opening day.
Yep.
And then
The Orioles play the Twins.
Thursday, the Orioles are playing, Twins, and a lot more teams are playing too, so.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it opens up that day. So,
Yep.
But the big change, do you want to take this?
Yeah, I can certainly start as long as you're helping me.
Yeah.
The ABS system. Now, I thought that was the brakes on your
The brakes on a car? No.
automatic ball strike challenge system. So they still have an umpire. This is here only for a challenge, right? So they can see exactly where the ball went. They got these cameras and radar and all this stuff to see where the ball goes.
Right. And the only people that can challenge is the pitcher, the catcher, or the batter. That's it. Not even the manager of the team. He can't challenge it. Just those 3 guys.
Okay. So they're allowed 2 challengers per game.
Right.
Now, if they win,
The challenge.
the guy calls a strike and it was a ball or whatever, a ball versus strike, and they win the challenge, they still have 2 to go.
Right.
Right? It's almost like the football.
Right.
When you throw the red towel.
And I was watching the Orioles play the Nationals the other day, and this happened. They had the system going at Camden
did
Yards
they?
in Baltimore.
Okay.
And it was so quick. I thought that this was going to kind of slow the game down.
Right.
It didn't. Somebody challenged it. I think the pitcher challenged one of he thought it was a strike, and the umpire said it was a ball. And so the pitcher, you got to tap your helmet or your head, and then the umpire
is that the
knows.
sign?
That's the sign, supposedly.
I thought that was.
Well, right away
wanted to
when
get-
they did it, huh?
I thought that was a sign you wanted to get out of conversation at a party.
Oh, really?
Seinfeld.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that?
Yeah. So anyway,
Sorry,
he challenged it. He challenged it.
Yeah.
So right away the umpire said challenge, and all of a sudden you looked up at the jumbo screen and it showed where the ball was,
What a strike is.
and it was right. The umpire was right. Boom.
Done.
Play resume. I thought it was going to be a long. Oh, here we go. We got to
like they
it
talk
up,
and they get
put
the
it up on the
form.
thing,
Yeah.
and all that. I mean,
Because they got the game rolling last year or 2 years ago when they put the timer on the pitchers.
right. Timer on the pitchers. Yeah.
So that keeps the game moving really, really well. The system's already been tested in the minors from 2022, so this has
Yes.
been in place for quite
Well,
some
there's
time.
a lot of things that have been tested in the minors. The other thing that's being tested is they want to bring second base in by 9 inches.
Yeah, I heard that because technically a diamond is longer this way, right?
I guess.
In
I
a
don't know.
diamond shape, it's not a square.
I don't know anything about geometry.
Well, yeah, diamonds are like, I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, it is a little longer that way in a real diamond, right? What they want to do is take a square, perfect square,
Right.
and turn it.
Turn it.
So
That's
it's
what they
all
want
the
to do.
same. Nine-
And the
exactly
reason for
90
it, they
feet.
want more stolen bases. They're hoping that if it
they're
moves in
shorter.
9 inches, it'll be a little bit shorter.
9
People,
inches. It's a foot. Come on.
Yeah.
Not even a foot.
right? They're saying that they might get a little bit more stolen bases, make the game a little
Now,
bit
is
more
that
exciting.
this year they're doing it?
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh,
that's
no. I'm sorry. In the minors, they are.
Oh, minors.
It's not
us.
being sent to
Okay.
the majors yet. If it's successful in the minors, then maybe next year we'll see that.
Okay.
Then the other thing they're doing is the coaching box enforcement. Now this is
Yeah, this I didn't know because they were like all over the field.
they are really all over the field, and I know that they have those lines there,
Right.
and they're supposed to stand in there.
It's
Well,
called a
now
coach's box
they have to.
for a reason.
They have to stand there now. They can't be running away, running over. You know, they got to stay in there. That's going to be a new thing.
Wow.
And then base runner guide, stricter rules for emphasis on preventing base runners from making contact with fielders, which is a big thing. I've seen a lot of that. The base runner will
Collisions
try
can
to
knock somebody out.
knock
for the
somebody
season.
out. Yeah, so it'll be
So
nice
what
to
does
make this-
so the base running thing? They want to keep them in the base line. Is that
Right.
what the fight is? Yeah.
Right. They can't try to take out like if they're doing a double play.
Oh yeah.
The guy can't go and try to run over, kick
Knock
him in
the
the
second
leg,
baseman down, yeah.
knock him down, or
And then they have something else: swing challenges.
45
45 degrees off the plate, right? I mean,
when they check
past the plate.
check their swing.
So a check swing would be a 30-degree or less, or 45 degrees or less, right? So
Right.
what's 45 degrees? Yeah. So if they go over the plate that much, it's a strike or a swing.
It's a swing, right? So
Okay.
now these new cameras that they're using for this ABS is also going to
Watching
be
the
looking at
bat.
that.
Oh,
So when they point to the first baseman or the third baseman, was that a strike or usually the first baseman will go like this for a strike or this way. No, he didn't go. Now they're going to challenge it. They can challenge it if they want to. So
Okay.
that's going to be a
it's
good.
not yet in the MLB, but it is coming.
Yes.
So that's something else. Wow, that's pretty neat. Going to new baseball coming. So
Yep.
that's going to be cool. Well, I'd like to see that. So I'll definitely be watching the game tomorrow.
Yep.
And baseball's here, warm weather. Today the sun was out finally. Oh my gosh. Last topic. I wanted to talk about the 2026 FIFA. The FIFA. It's only 3 months away.
Yep.
And, this is the World Cup. Now, for the U.S., football is a big deal. But for everybody else in the whole world, soccer.
Soccer is.
And
Which
the other,
I think they call it football, right?
yeah, they call it football. And the other huge thing is Formula One. Formula One and soccer are the two biggest world sports.
is,
Now, the Japan Grand Prix that just happened, 19-year-old won the race, by the way, Japan. I'm sorry if you didn't watch it, too bad. 19-year-old won the race. There wasn't a seat left. Complete sellouts at these Formula One races. Just so popular. So at the tournament, three months away, there's been some briefing and warnings of extreme attacks. Like lone actors,
Right.
and with the unrest tied to immigration policies and all this other stuff. They got a $625 million federal grant freeze that's left some of the host cities unprepared and risking a catastrophic
Catastrophic outcome.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Fan festivals are flagged as high risk for crowds. EU officials criticized FIFA for inadequate planning amid geopolitical tensions. So with all the crap that's going on, now they're worried about this. They may have a major attack at the soccer games.
It's amazing at how they take this game so serious. Remember, I don't know if you remember, 10 years ago, I think it was, one of the Mexican players didn't score a goal or something, blew it for the team, and then they killed him.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah. They killed him. It was
Well, I know there was some years ago. There were crowd riots and people getting
Oh, yeah.
trampled. And the next thing I did want to mention, because we are from New Jersey,
right.
the men's final. It's not in some fancy city. It's in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Wait a minute.
MetLife Stadium, officially hosting FIFA in New York, New Jersey area
Yep.
on July 19, 2026. That's where the finals are in East Rutherford, New Jersey. That's pretty cool at the Meadowlands Sports Complex.
Yeah, it has a capacity of 82,500 seats for the event.
Right.
Why is it notable? The massive stadium, home to the New York Giants and the Jets, that's why he likes it. The
Yeah,
Giants,
the Giants, yeah.
was selected to host the showpiece final of the expanded 48-team tournament, marking a return to a major U.S. East Coast venue for the World Cup decider. Pretty nice.
And that's the biggest game of the tournament, too,
right.
there. Do you know what the seats are going for? Somebody told me.
Not much.
And I'm not lying. This is a guy, he's Italian, he knows soccer. And front row seats, VIP seats, $200,000.
No.
Okay.
200 grand?
Yeah, go ahead. You talk about the rest here. Keep talking. Let me look it up.
It's the biggest game of the tournament, where the two semifinal winners will compete for the trophy. The full schedule and details are on the official FIFA site, and no changes have been reported as of now. This is on March 2026. Since you're in Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's relative drivable distance, about 1.5 to 2 hours to the stadium area, depending on the traffic. If you're thinking about attending or just following, tickets and travel info are available through FIFA's official channels. Let me know if you want more nearby host cities, security updates, and anything else. It is $200,000.
It
Are
is?
you serious?
Where did it say that?
No, I'm saying if you're
Oh, yeah.
going to think about going,
Yeah.
you're telling me it's $200,000.
Well, here it is. Wait, let's see what it says here. So, the final schedule for MetLife, they're talking about value, official face values. Okay, now this is the Category 4 tickets. All right, Category 4 tickets, which are way up in the sky.
Nosebleed.
$2,000 to $2,700 a seat.
God, and they'll sell them out.
That's what they're saying. Category 3, which is the upper tier, behind the goals, $27.90 to $41.85. Cheapest openly available tickets, often cited around $4,185. Category 2, which is a lower upper tier outside, is $4,200 to $5,500 a seat. That is crazy.
God.
And premium lower seats are running $6,370 to $8,600 for a ticket. That is. How do we watch? We watch it at home on TV.
That's right.
This is a significant increase from the 2022 in Qatar, where top tickets were around $1,600. Some sources, it might be because of the economy over here. Some sources note slight variations, $6,700 to $7,800. A limited supporter entry tier at a fixed ticket price of $60 per ticket exists for the final in all matches. So here's some VIP stuff. Let me just see if they give a ticket price here for VIPs. Pricing house. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, so single match hospitality. This is where Bill and I are going,
Right.
and you guys are going to help us because you're going to like, subscribe, and hit that bell,
So we can go.
and so we can go,
That's right.
and we'll have a contest.
Oh, don't do that.
We'll take our favorite. No. So this is a VIP, and can easily reach $25,000 plus for each one. But wait, it gets better. Broader series packages that include the final can range from $18,000 to $100,000 a person.
God.
How is that? Now, who goes to these things? Rich people.
Well, the major event in the World Soccer calendar right now, as of March 2026, is preparations for the World Cup 2026, the biggest tournament in soccer history. It will feature an expanded format with 48 teams and 104 matches,
Wow.
co-hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada,
Yeah.
and 16 host cities and stadiums.
That is
Good.
nuts.
It is nuts.
This is big.
Who started all this?
Well, did Trump
is
got
the
it
one.
started.
He's the one.
I got to give him credit.
You do.
He was the one that
That's what I'm saying.
Brought it to the
If
U.S.
these other things work out for him, he's going to go down. To me, I think he's going to go down as probably the best president we've ever had.
So some of the dates are June 11th to July
19th.
19th, yeah. And opening match is June 11th in Mexico versus South Africa. Wow.
At Azteca Stadium in Mexico City.
Yeah, in Mexico City. Group stage, June 11th, 26th, yeah. And then knockout rounds, round 32, June, July. So it goes right through the summer, I guess, right to the end of July.
Yep.
When July 19th is MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Man, I can't believe that.
Other notable early matches include games in cities like Toronto, Guadalajara, Mexico, Los Angeles.
Stop there. They better clean that city up, and that's what's going to happen.
In Guadalajara.
No, Los
Oh, in
Angeles.
Los Angeles. Oh God,
Jesus.
They got, well, aren't they having the Olympics? When? The Olympics, the summer games are going there.
Summer
So
games.
that we just had this.
2028.
2028, I
Yeah.
think, is the summer game.
Right. So maybe they'll keep it clean from this because it's a disaster over there.
Full fixtures, groups, and venues are available on the official FIFA site, with detailed pairings at times released after the draw. Host cities include Atlanta, Boston, Guadalajara, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Mexico City, Los Angeles, Miami. That's going to be great. Monterey, New York, and New Jersey, which is the
final.
stadium.
Yep.
And then Philadelphia, San Francisco Bay Area, Toronto, Seattle, and Vancouver.
Wow.
It's going to be very, very exciting.
So now,
really
wouldn't
is.
it be nice? Now, so the beginning here is in June. How about all this stuff is
Gone. Right.
Now they're paying $100,000 a seat. Wouldn't it be nice if gas was cheap for them?
Yep. Gas would be cheap.
So they can drive
It's all
there.
going to be gone. Disney World's going to open up in Tehran.
Yeah. It's going to be a vacation spot in Iran.
Cuba's going to have Universal Theater.
I'm going to go for a cruise through the Straits of Hormuz. But all kidding aside, that's really what it comes down to, and the security concerns are really, really big, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up.
Yep.
There's funding that got cut, and the geopolitical tensions, and it's just so much unrest all over. And they're also worried about cyber threats too.
Yeah.
Getting into the systems and destroying that, and so. But yeah, sports is here, and this is the first time FIFA's doing a whole thing in the U.S.
Yeah. Do you think this Tripoli boat that Trump is sending in, this battleship or whatever it is, the USS Tripoli, has got, I don't know how many soldiers on
Yeah,
it?
Marines.
Marines.
Yeah.
We're hearing that he wants to drop them off at that little island, Kurg, to kind of blockade that island.
Yeah.
Well, with everything all the talks that he's talking about the last day or two, hopefully he's not going to need that. I don't know
Right.
why he's sending it there, but you don't know Trump. Trump is he surprises you with different things. He says one thing,
Yeah.
and 2 days later he does something. Let me tell you,
Well,
he knows what he's doing.
I
He
gotta-
does.
I got to laugh because when this war started, he goes, "You got 5 days," and then Iran's going, "We got 5 days. We got 5 days." The third day, he bombs them, and Iran's going, "What happened? You said 5 days. What are you talking about?"
So next week we might be either at Newark or Philly.
Yep.
Airports.
Philadelphia Airport.
Unless our little airport here at ABE, if they get some,
Get some ice. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
They get the ice agent.
Well,
right
after
back.
today, they're already saying that these ICE agents are relieving the lines a little bit.
Yeah.
Down in Atlanta and Dallas, they're saying it's actually working.
Well, I want to see it for myself, and I
and
really.
that's if it is working, that's Trump. Trump was the one that came up with this. So
Well, yeah, but there was also another underlining motive, though, because everybody hates ICE and they're trying to block their funds from coming in and all that. And he said, well, if you don't give us what we want and we won't pay the TSA agents, then I'm going to send your favorite people in.
right.
Send
And
the ICE agents.
what's Elon Musk doing? I heard he's writing a
He's
check.
going to write a check for the TSA agents.
That's unbelievable. You imagine having the power to do that.
Give him some power.
Well,
and
I
money,
think
yeah.
also too. I think he's such an unbelievable guy. I think he's also hoping that Jeff Bezos kind of kicks in and all these.
Yeah.
Who's the
Yeah,
guy from
one-
Microsoft? What was his name?
Yeah,
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Oh, they all did. The guy from Dell. He
Yeah.
chipped in for the $1,000 Trump.
Children thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe Musk is thinking maybe more people will do what I'm doing and chip in some
Well,
money.
it's not fair. And TSA, I heard that their starting salary is $40,000 for these guys.
Yeah.
What the hell? They're not going to have a paycheck? No wonder they quit. They lost, I don't know how many already, 2,000 of them.
Yeah.
So, the ones hanging in there know that there's going to be a retroactive pay, but in the meantime, these poor guys don't have a paycheck. I mean, it's crazy. So, anyhow, that's it. Episode 69
It's in the books.
in the books. I'm Joe.
And I'm Bill.
There you
Very
go.
Good. All righty. We'll see you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.